court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Your client's gonna need the services of the interpreter?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
He speaks English. For purposes of the record, Your Honor, Philip Arroyo on behalf of Mr. Percio Rodriguez. May I inquire my client?
You may.
Sir, can you please state your name for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Percio Rodriguez,
Can you spell that for the record quickly?
P-E-R-S-I-O, Rodriguez, R-O-D-R-I-G-U-E-Z.
Mr. Rodriguez, do you have any prior criminal history?
When I was young, juvenile.
In the last 20 years, have you had any criminal offense on your record?
No,
Okay. Have you ever failed to appear at a court hearing or a court appearance?
never.
If the court decides to grant you a reasonable bond today, where would you live?
In my home, my residence.
What is the address?
10090 Bennington Chase Drive, Orlando, Florida, 32829.
And how long have you resided in that address?
Almost 5 years.
And do you currently work?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
I have two jobs, Southern Nissan, Orlando. I work there full-time and also have a baseball academy called Platinum Baseball Academy.
Do you have extensive ties to the community? Are you active in your community?
I'm very active in the community. Serve with sponsor with Little League and also help out with Casa Puerto Rico with the elderlies. My whole family does the same thing.
How long have you been an assistant baseball coach in the community?
I guess since 2006, since I moved out here.
Have you ever been accused or had any allegations of violence against
sir.
you?
No, sir.
Have you ever attempted to flee the country due to a past court hearing?
No, sir.
And if the court is inclined and decides to grant you a reasonable bond, would you be willing to abide to all and any conditions?
Yes.
Your Honor, no further questions. Your Honor, pursuant to Rule 3.131 of the Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure, the 8th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, and Article 1 of the Florida Constitution, the defense would respectfully request a reasonable bond in this case. My client has no prior criminal history. He's never failed to appear. My deepest apologies, Your Honor. He's never failed to appear at any court hearing. If the court grants him a reasonable bond, he will be staying at his address of 10090 Bennington Chase Drive, Orlando, Florida. My client works at Southern Nissan, Orlando. He is an active member of El Calvario and Faith Assembly Church and a recognized and active member of the sports community in Central Florida, specifically an assistant coach for a little over 8 years. He has never been accused of a violent threat. If your court requires him to turn in his passport and wear an ankle bracelet, he is willing to do so. So we respectfully request that a reasonable bond be granted in this case, Your Honor.
All right, State, do you wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. Due to the fact of not having contact with the victim based on the allegations, the state's gonna request that bond not be set due to the allegations and the fact that we haven't had any contact with the victim since.
Well, he's entitled to a bond, so I can't zero bond him unless you have something else to add to your argument.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And you wish for the court to waive the formal reading of the charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. As to counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the court does find probable cause for each of these offenses. As to count 1, bond's going to be set at $15,000. As to count 2, bond's going to be set at $10,000. As to count 3, bond's going to be set at $5,000. As to count 4, bond is set at $1,000. And as to count 5, it'll be stayed at $150. Do not have any contact with the alleged victim. Do not have any unsupervised contact with anyone under the age of 18. And do not possess any weapons or firearms. Anything else, State?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Nothing further, Your Honor. It's a pleasure to appear before you for the first time.
Very nice meeting you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
same one? Okay. All right, and who do we have for,
Your Honor, we have another attorney for a Zoom hearing. Would you want to hear that now?
sure. Not Zoom, but Microsoft Teams, right? Okay, I don't use Zoom. Under where? For this one or here? I have messages, join WebEx, share screen, or call. Oh, this one? Oh, that's how you guys do it? Computer, okay. Look at y'all, you're so fancy. Oh, no.
Welcome to an Econo meeting. You are entering the meeting now.
Yeah, we do not have.
You are the only participant.
All right. No, I'm just gonna do it your way. And sir, I'm sorry, what is your first and last name?
Calderon Richardson.
What's your last name?
Richardson.
Richardson? Okay. Just waiting for your attorney to join us.
Okay.
Hmm? I don't see it, but I'm sure it's stuck somewhere. This one? Yes. Good. What I'll do is, I'm gonna skip your case for now. And if your attorney joins us, then we'll call you back up, okay? So I'm gonna have to end his call in order to do my Spanish speakers.
Yes. Okay, Your Honor, we'll start with Spanish.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Theodore Leal again, Spanish interpreter.
Good afternoon. Who do we have? Good afternoon, sir. Can you please state your first and last name for me?
Sí, Jeans Cardenas. Sí, Cardenas.
Jens Cardenas.
All right, good afternoon, sir. I have a failure to appear for you. It's for case 2021 CT 5003. Okay, perfect. Looks like you have a bond on this case and it's set at $500. You do have a second case, which is 22 CT 838. It is driving license suspended. I do find probable cause, and your bond is going to be set at $500. Now, I did receive your affidavit for indigency, and you don't qualify for the assistance of the public defender. So prior to your next court date, I need you to go ahead and try to find a defense attorney, okay?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir.
No entendí nada. Es que no supe qué me van a dar.
And who do we have next? All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you please state your first and last name for me?
Yomar Torre.
Yomar Torres.
Right, sir. I have a charging affidavit, case 22MM950, charges you with petty theft. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find probable cause for your arrest. Your bond's gonna be set at $500. This is gonna be bonds with PTR conditions. And the conditions not to return to the J.C. Penney's located at 8001 South Orange Blossom Trail.
Okay.
All right, thank you. And who's next?
Your Honor, Mr. Hector, he bonded.
Hector Arturo Cruz Cusi.
I know.
All right, he bonded. Thank you.
And that concludes our Spanish.
Okay, perfect. All right, Mr. Interpreter, thank you so much.
Quite welcome, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Welcome to an Econo meeting. You are entering the meeting now.
Mr. Richardson. So his attorney is on.
You are the only participant.
Okay. I don't know who would have sent him a link, though. That's the thing. 'Cause I only have the juvenile link. Normally when I have Microsoft Teams, and I give permission to others, my JA creates a special link. So if they don't ask me ahead of time, she doesn't create that special link. And just for the record, I'm gonna go ahead and provisionally appoint the public defender's office just for the initial appearances purposes. And can I have defense counsel, if you can please place your name on record?
Oh, I'm sorry. Good morning, Your Honor. Marie Taylor on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. I am not quite sure where the attorney is, and this is our second time. Can I start? You're gonna get a cell phone number? All right. Sorry, Mr. Richardson.
I think they have it.
We're gonna have to call you back because your attorney's not on here.
Here. What is it? Wait, that's his cell?
I'll just end the call.
She's calling.
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Hi.
Yes, is this the judge?
Yes, it is. Can you
Hi,
please-
Judge, how are you?
Doing well. Can you please state your first and last name for me?
Yes, ma'am. Frank Gill, GIL.
All right. We have your client, Mr. Camden Jefferson Richardson, in front of me.
Perfect.
All right.
And Judge, thank you for allowing me to appear telephonically. I was trying to log into the Cisco system for some reason. It just, I don't know. I seem to be the only participant in it, so.
Yep, me too.
Oh, you were? Okay.
All right, his case number is 2022 CF 1506. 2 counts of aggravated stalking, dating violence.
Correct.
Probable cause has been found for each of these offenses. So my job is to set a bond at this time. Do you wish to be heard as to the bond amount?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm not sure what the standard bond amount would be in Orange County for this, but obviously, whatever Your Honor feels is the appropriate bond amount is fine by me on this particular case.
Okay.
Generally, the standard bonds that I see are between 5,000 and 10,000, but I'm not sure if they might be a little bit lower or higher here.
State, do you wish to be heard?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and set bonds at $5,000 for each count. Does he qualify for PTRs?
No, Your Honor, he actually out on bond or PTR.
Out on PTR for another aggravated stalking?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, that's why you don't qualify. But still, you're not to have any contacts with the listed victim. You're not to return to her home. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms, and you are to abide by all court orders. Due to the fact you're out on bond for another aggravated stalking, can I have that case number? Because I have one, but I just want to be sure. Is it 2021 CF 12493?
Correct.
All right, I'm gonna have to revoke your bond on that case and set you at 0 at this time.
We'll be set in due course on that case, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
We'll be set on that case.
It's gonna be a 0 bond.
Gotcha.
All right, and I don't believe there's anything else. All right. All right, thank you, Mr. Gill.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate that.
Have a good one.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
No.
Samuel Charles?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have an active warrant for case 22 CF 778, was cruelty to animals? That bond is currently set at 0 at this time, okay? So reach out to your defense counsel and they can file the appropriate bond in front of the trial judge, okay?
Judge, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Is that the case that he's here on? Because my understanding was that Your Honor would set a bond this morning for the cruelty to animals. He was arrested when the state filed the information, but he has not been the first appearance yet. So since the offense is an F3, I believe he would be entitled to a bond at this point?
Just 1 second. All right, my apologies. I thought it was an FTA warrant. I can set bond. In reference to the cruelty to animals, probable cause has already been found. I'll give you a bond of $3,500. And does he qualify for PTR?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, it's gonna be bonds with PTR. Conditions are no contact with the victim, co-defendants, or any witnesses. You are not to return to the scene of the offense, and you are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, anything else, State?
No, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. All right, you do qualify for the public defender's office.
Thank you, Judge.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you Michael A. Keith?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right.
Good morning also. Good afternoon also, I mean.
Good
I'm sorry.
afternoon. All right, I have a couple of cases here. The first one is 2022 CF 1656, one count of aggravated battery, great bodily harm with a weapon. I do find probable cause for this offense. Your bond's going to be set at $5,000. You're not to have any contact with the alleged victim, okay? You're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes, ma'am.
It looks like you were out on bond for case 2022 CF. I'm sorry, 2020 CF 1492.
May I state something?
Don't say anything.
Yes, ma'am, sorry.
It's burglary of a conveyance, petty theft of 100 or more, and another petty theft of 100 or more. Because you were out on bond for the 2020 case and you picked up this new case, I'm gonna have to revoke your bond and set you at 0 at this time, okay?
Okay.
All right. There was another one?
Sure. I'm gonna send them an email.
All right, you have another case you were out on bond, which is 2022 CF 1525. That one's possession of cannabis, 20 grams. I'm gonna go ahead and revoke that bond and set you at 0 at this time. Any other cases?
Well, please, thank you.
All right, good afternoon. Are you, is it Jean Colbert or Colbert Jean?
Same name, yes.
Okay, say your name for me, please.
Jean Clubbert.
Okay. You have two cases. The first one is 2022 CF 1703. It has two separate offenses. The first one is child abuse. Second one is battery, domestic violence. The court has an issue with the child abuse count. I didn't find probable cause. The battery, domestic, I did find probable cause, and I will give you a bond as to that offense, and it's going to be $500. So, State, would you like to be heard as to the child abuse?
State would like to know why you didn't find probable cause, Your Honor. The victim looks to be 17.
Well, he was arrested for child abuse as well as battery domestic for one specific thing that he did to this alleged victim who's maybe, I guess she's 17, she's going to be 18 soon. Got to pick one.
Okay, Your Honor. No, the state has no argument. We concede.
I'm going to ROR on the child abuse. And like I said, your battery is going to be $500. Does he? Nope, never mind. Not, okay, so these are going to be the conditions. You are not to have any contact with the alleged victim, and you have to maintain a separate residence right now because of the no contact order. Now, I will give you a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items if you have it at the home, okay? Now, you do have another case, which is 2021 CF 13334. It's petty theft with 2 prior convictions. You were ROR'd on that count. Say, can you tell me, typically when I see ROR, that's because you all have not filed charges. So what's going, or there was no PC found, but what's going on with that?
What's
petty
the
theft?
case number, Your Honor?
It's 2021 CF 13334.
I don't have access to my computer, Your Honor, so I wouldn't be able to answer that right now. I don't have any idea.
Judge, can you do me a huge, Judge, may?
My computer's logged out, I'm so sorry.
Judge, may I?
Oh, yes.
It looks like according to the clerk's site, that case is in some form of competency status. It looks like it has been filed on by the state now. It wasn't originally, like you said, but there has been an expert appointed to assess competency.
As of when?
As of February 2nd, 2022.
Just
So
recently.
10 days ago, there was an order appointing an expert, and Judge LeBlanc has a comp status on 4/13.
All right. Sorry?
I got a question for you. If I can't pay the bond, how do I get released from jail? Do I have to serve an amount of time before I get out?
Hold on for 1 second. All right, due to the comp, I'm not gonna revoke the ROR because he needs to be seen by the doctor. Sir, what was your question?
Due to the fact that I can't pay my bond, I want to know, is there an amount of time I have to serve in jail in order to get out?
That I don't know. This is just the initial appearances. My job is just to review the affidavit and determine if there was enough probable cause for your arrest. You do have the assistance of the public defender's office, so you can give them a call or ask Ms. Taylor later on if you have any additional questions for her.
Okay.
Okay.
My second question, if you read in the affidavit, you'll
Not today.
Okay. Don't tell me anything about your case because you are being recorded. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Okay?
She already read it, and she already ROR'd you on 1 count, so that's pretty good. All right.
So you taking no action on RR, right?
Yes, no action. Thank you.
Oh, yep. Morning.
All right. Are you Bobby Smith?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good afternoon, sir. Your case number is 22MM931. You were charged with battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause for your arrest. You are entitled to a bond. I will set your bond at $500. This is going to be bonds with PTR. Your conditions will be not to have any contact with the alleged victim. You're not to return to the residence. You're to maintain a separate residence from the victim. I will give you a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items that you may have. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. State, do you have any additional conditions?
No, ma'am.
All right, and I did receive your application for criminal agency, and it looks like you do qualify for the public defender's office.
Right here?
Now we're gonna go through our doctors. The first, Mr. Walker refused.
All right, are you willing to waive his appearance, Ms. Taylor? It's a VOP.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And bond is set at 0 at this time. Mr. Tony Anthony Key.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon, sir. Your case is 22 CF 1704, has two separate counts. The first one is battery on a person 65 years or older. I do find probable cause. Your bond's going to be set at $3,000. The second count is battery, two prior batteries. I did not find probable cause. The officer has failed to provide the two prior convictions for the battery. State?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, so you are going to be ROR'd on the second count. PTR, does he qualify for PTR as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so it's gonna be bonds with PTR. The conditions not to have any contact with the victim. Do you understand?
Yes,
You are to
ma'am.
maintain a separate residence from the victim. You, I will give you a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items that you may have there. And you are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Are you Christopher, is it Moths?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have two cases. The first is 2020 CF 9281. It's a violation of probation, and bond is set at 0 at this time for the violation of probation. Your second case is 2022 MM91. It's a battery, domestic violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I do find probable cause for your arrest. Your bond is going to be set at $1,000. You're not to have any contact with the alleged victim. You're to maintain a separate residence from the victim. If you have any personal items in her residence, I will give you a one-time assistance to retrieve those personal items, okay? But that's gonna be with law enforcement, so you can't go there unless law enforcement's with you. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
You are not to possess any weapons or firearms, all right?
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, just be advised that he's a high-risk sex offender.
All right, thank you. Jose Calderon Jr. Right, so your case is 22 MM910, has one count of battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause for this arrest. This is going to be bonds with PTR conditions. Your bond is set at 500. Conditions will be not to have any contact with the alleged victim. You're not to return to the residence. I will give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items that you may have, okay? But you have to maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim at this time. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms, understood? All right, state anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Samir, is it Samir Edens? All right, so your case is 22 MM31. I have reviewed the affidavit, and I do find probable cause for this offense. You do qualify for bonds with PTR. I know. Hmm? No, I can see her. All right, ma'am.
Hi,
Please state your first and last name.
Rebecca Striplet.
I'm sorry, what is your last name?
Striplet,
Spell that for me.
Striplet.
You are the alleged victim?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and raise your right hand for me. Oh, I know it's a little difficult. All right, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. I don't want to hear anything about the facts of the case, all right? Just tell me if you wish to have contact with the defendant.
Yes.
You do? Are you being forced to come in here to tell me that you wish to have contact with him?
No.
Are you afraid of him at this time?
No.
And let's just say I remove the no contact order. Do you understand the no contact order is in place to protect you?
Yes.
Do you understand that upon me removing it, there's no way that the court can protect you?
Yes.
You still wish for me to remove the no contact order? If something was to happen at home where the defendant becomes aggressive towards you, what would you do?
Call the police. Call the police?
Call the police? All right, State, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
I'm gonna order no hostile contact. That means that he can't yell at you, he can't be aggressive towards you. Are you listening to me? No hostile, okay? So you have to treat her with decency and respect. You cannot be aggressive towards her whatsoever. Understood? Because if you do, she's gonna call the police, and that's gonna be a violation of my no hostile contact. You'd be right back in jail. Understood? Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I will allow you to return to the home. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you have any weapons or firearms at home? Is that a,
No, ma'am.
all right. You're being recorded, so that's why I need a yes or no.
Oh, yes.
All right, anything else, State?
No, Your Honor.
All right, bond is set at 500. All right, thank you. Isaiah Hicks?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hicks, your case is 22 MM 938. You've been charged with battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause for this offense. It qualifies for PTR as well, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. It's gonna be bonds with PTR. Your bond's gonna be set at $500. Conditions of your PTR is not to have any contact with the listed victims, so no direct, indirect, or third party. Okay? You have to, with the no contact order, if you have any personal items at the home, I'll give you a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve those items.
Okay, so about the home, she don't live there, it's just my apartment.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, I have both sets of keys, she don't have a key at all, so.
Okay, good.
All right.
Good. You can't possess any weapons or firearms, so if you have anything at home, you have to, upon your release, you have to go ahead and turn those over to the sheriff's office.
I don't have any.
Okay, anything else, State?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can scratch that. Robert Lee Levitt. All right, sir, your case number is 22 MM 951. It has one count of battery domestic violence. I do find probable cause for this offense. This is going to be bonds with PTR. Your bond's set at 500. Conditions will be not to have any contact with the alleged victim. You're to maintain a separate residence from the victim. If you have any personal items at that residence, I will give you a one-time assistance with law enforcement to retrieve your personal items. You're not to possess any weapons, firearm, and you're not to consume any alcohol at this time. Understood? All right, thank you. Maritza Rosas?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your case number is 2022 MM 935. You've been charged with one count of battery domestic violence. And sir, are you Franklin David Fernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I have reviewed the affidavit. I do find probable cause for the arrest. You are entitled to a bond. It's going to be $500. I'm going to have PTR conditions. Before I tell you the conditions, I want to hear from Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Fernandez, go ahead and raise your right hand for me. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, go ahead and put your hand down. Don't tell me anything about your case. I just want to know if you wish to have contact with this defendant.
Yes.
All right, does anyone force you to come in here and say, hey, Judge, you know, make sure you let me have contact with her?
No, ma'am.
All right, are you afraid at this time?
No, ma'am.
If something like this was to happen, what would you do?
I'd call the cops.
Call the cops? All right. And you have one child together?
You have two dogs.
Two, okay. And you wish for her to come home?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna order a no hostile contact. Cannot be aggressive towards him, okay? You have to be decent towards him. If he feels that you are being aggressive and that you're yelling at him in any form, shape, or manner, he's gonna call the police and it's gonna be a violation of my no hostile contact. Do you understand that? I have to hear yes or no. So no hostile contacts with the victim, no consumption of alcohol at this time, and you cannot possess any weapons or firearms. Do you have any weapons or firearms in the home?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, anything else, State?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
I do have one
Yes,
question.
sir.
Is there any way that her bond could be slightly lowered?
Right now, it's $500. If she wishes to, I'm not the trial judge, I'm just the initial appearance judge. If she wishes to do, to have a lower amount, she can file the appropriate motion.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good day. Yes, ma'am. Maximilian Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So your case number is 22MM947. You've been charged with 1 count of battery domestic violence. I have reviewed the affidavit and I do find probable cause for your arrest. You do qualify for a bond. Your bond's gonna be set at $500. I'm gonna add PTR to this. The conditions of your PTR is not to have any contact with the alleged victim, okay? If you have any personal items at her home that you shared, I'll give you a one-time assistance with law enforcement to get those items, okay? But you have to maintain a separate residence from her at this time. Okay, and you cannot possess any weapons or firearms. Do you understand that? All right, and you are not to consume any alcohol during this time as well. You understand that, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anything else, State?
Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Are you Tony Anderson Jr.?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
All right, sir. You have you have a couple cases. The first one is 2022 CF 1705. Has 2 separate counts. Oh, just 1 second. The first one is resisting arrest without violence. I do find probable cause. Your bond's gonna be set at $100. Second count's possession of methamphetamine. I do find probable cause. Your bond's gonna be stayed at $1,000. You do have another case, 2021 CF. Is that a 5192? Okay. You were ROR'd on this case when you picked up this new offense. Can someone tell me what's going on with the fleeing, attempting to elude law enforcement and resisting without? Has it been charged?
Well, ma'am,
It's set to plea, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Is that to plea?
It is set to plea on March 4th, it looks like, and they just had PTC February 9th, Your Honor.
please, miss, I just need it reinstated, miss, please. I mean, I was going to work.
Well, don't say anything about your case. I'll take no action.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Stay out of trouble.
Thank you, ma'am.
Marquise Archer,
Yes, ma'am.
your case is 22 CF 1705. Charged with 2 separate counts. The first one, obscene communication, travel to meet after use of computer and luring. Count 2 is unlawful use of a two-way communication device. I do find probable cause for each of these offenses. Count 1, your bond's gonna be stayed at $2,500. As to count 2, your bonds could be stayed at $150. State, do you wish to be heard about any conditions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Brian Bensoncourt.
Huh?
Who? I'm sorry, that was my next person. What's your name?
Brooks.
Brooks? Derek Brooks? Okay. That's fine.
Number 2200-3313.
What was the last four? I'm sorry.
3313.
He bonded.
All right, Derek Brooks, 22 CF 1684. You're arrested for 3 separate counts. The first one's burglary of a structure, which I do find probable cause for. Your bonds can be stayed at $3,500. Count 2 is trespassing on structure or conveyance. I do find probable cause. Your bonds can be stayed at $250. And as to count 3, criminal mischief, I do find probable cause. Your bonds can be stayed at $500. You are not to return to the scene. You're not to have any contact with any of the alleged victims. Anything else, State?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Judge, if I may, Mr. Brooks has informed me in the back that he's unable to financially afford bonds in this case. I see that he may not qualify for PTR, so I'd be requesting ROR on his behalf for these 3 counts.
That request is going to be denied.
So, how much am I on?
Anthony Joseph, is it,
De Benedictus.
okay, De Benedictus?
De Benedictus.
Okay.
I don't know.
I have a failure to appear for case 2015 CF 5711. The judge in that specific case has issued a 0 bond, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor, and if we could just have a moment, he would like to give me a phone number for
Jackie, my federal,
a relevant,
my federal probation officer.
Okay.
I turned myself.
okay, all right, where?
And she already approved me to stay at my bond.
It looks like he failed to appear for pretrial conference.
Yes,
This is old, back on March 29th.
7 years old. I was in
Yeah.
federal custody for the last 7 years, ma'am. I got out 48 hours ago. I turned myself in on my own accord to get this taken care of so I can start over on my, these bonds are, I was in federal custody when it happened.
You were in federal custody
Yes,
in
and-
March of 2016?
Since I've been in federal custody since since June 5th of 2015.
All right, and you provided defense counsel with that evidence?
Yes, she's got my federal probation officer's number. She told me to come turn myself in, and that's what I tried, that's what I'm doing today.
The issue, Judge, is that I just don't have access to any federal database to give you, you know,
Ma'am, I'm trying
any
to-
kind of information. I'm happy to call the PO, of course, but for purposes of today,
I want to start my life over, ma'am, and I got to get this over with.
No, and I do understand that. If I was able to touch the bond, I would touch it, but it's currently at 0 at this time.
Set it, so you can't set a bond? You can't give me $1,000, $2,000, whatever?
It has to be in front of the trial judge that has your case. I'm just the initial appearance judge.
Okay.
Okay, so for the warrants cases, the trial judge actually issues whatever bond they wish, and I have to go along with that. Okay, the only thing I can tell you is reach out to your public defender's office and have that attorney file a bond motion for you as soon as possible in front of the trial judge. In the meantime, perhaps Ms. Taylor can get in contact with the federal probation officer, and that federal probation officer can provide her with the documentation to show that you are in federal custody on this specific date and was released on another date, okay? But keep your documents with you.
Judge, looks like he had a private attorney back then.
He's dead.
Oh,
He
okay.
died of an overdose. I hired a new attorney.
Okay.
The first three bonds, he actually had discharge, and this one we didn't even know I had.
All right, well, in any event, if the PD could be appointed provisionally, that would be
The public
helpful.
defender's office is provisionally appointed on your case, so please reach out to them so they can help you, okay?
There's actually 2 cases.
Oh, did I miss another one?
It could be anyone.
How do I get bond here?
I'm gonna let them know.
Yes, it's a 2015 CF 005711AO.
Okay. You have another case for a failure to appear.
It's the same.
It's the same?
It's the same.
Well, it's not the same because this is for possession of methamphetamine, possession of 20 grams or less, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
But all those.
Same situation?
It was
Okay.
all at the same time. They just, for some reason, they charged me with the driving on a different date. I don't
Understood.
understand. And
Okay.
the three charges, my lawyer actually asked to have discharged because I was in federal custody, and so I could come and get it taken care of while I was in federal custody. But obviously, he didn't see the other charge for some reason. I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
Just Ms. Taylor has your information, so I know she's gonna work hard to make sure that the trial judge hears this very soon so they can issue a bond and you can get that resolved. Okay?
I'm gonna do it
Okay,
today.
all right,
but
thank you,
I
ma'am.
don't
Thank
know
you.
when
Yeah.
you're
Okay,
gonna
thank
get
you.
set. Thank you, Judge.
Christopher Daniel Diaz, no?
Stefan Estevez de Leon.
Bonded.
Stephen Estevez de Leon,
Stefan Estevez de Leon.
case 22 CF 1694, 1 count of possession of fentanyl. The court does find probable cause for this arrest. Your bond's going to be stayed at $8,000. You do have another case, which is 21 CF 12447. It alleges criminal mischief. I do find probable cause. Your bond's going to be set at $2,500. Okay, all right, thank you.
The judge. That's my right. I just want to talk.
Terrence Graham?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, sir, you have 2 cases. The first one is 22 CF 1692.
Right.
Has 2 separate counts, selling delivery of cocaine, possession of cocaine. I did review the charging affidavit, and I do find probable cause for each of these offenses. Count 1, your bond's gonna be set at $7,500. Oh, I'm sorry? That's the correction.
Your Honor.
All right, don't say anything.
Ma'am.
Right, strike that. Your bond as to count 1 should be $15,000. And as to count 2, it's going to be stayed at $150. You have a possession of methamphetamine. You were out on bond on that case. That case is 2021 CF 12426. I'm going to revoke that bond and set you at 0 at this time.
That's why I can't bond out? When I can bond out on it?
Can't bond out on this one.
I have to put a bond motion in?
You can.
I want to
And
do
so
that.
contact your defense attorney. They'll file the appropriate motion in front of the trial judge. Okay?
I mean, can y'all double the price on it? I can, you know,
You can talk to your attorney about that. But today's not the day for that. It's just the initial appearance, sir.
I
Okay?
can't go nowhere today.
No.
So my bond is set at the,
You have a bond on the new charge, but the old charge, it's set at 0 at this time because you picked up new cases. All right?
I'm gonna put in a motion there.
You do that. Thank you.
What the bond is on that new one? 15,000. 15,000, 150? 1,500.
Can I have your first and last name, ma'am?
Errol Hale.
All right.
Lamont Green, bonded.
Ms. Hale?
Yes.
Ms. Hale, you have 2 cases. The first one is 22 CF 1700. Has 3 separate counts. The first one is possession of cocaine. I do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $1,000. As to count 2, possession of methamphetamine, the court does find probable cause. Your bond is stayed at $150. As to count 3, possession of drug paraphernalia, your bond is stayed at $100. Your second case is 2022 CF 1701. There's 2 separate counts. The first one is trafficking fentanyl 4 grams or more. The bond is set at $100,000. Count 2's introduction of contraband to the detention facility. Your bond is stayed at $150. All right, thank you.
Judge, if I may, I just wanted to
Don't say anything about your case, okay? So you provisionally have the Office of the Public Defender's Office, so reach out to them, and whatever questions you may have, they will answer them, okay?
I just wanted to note that according to the paperwork I see here, she has no prior convictions at all. I didn't know.
Got some serious charges, though.
Yes, Your Honor. Based on the weight, we would just be requesting something less than $100,000, given her lack of history. I think that it's almost tantamount to no bond with the type of premium that she would have to put.
All right, and you can file a motion to reduce bond in front of the trial judge.
Your Honor, Jordan Jackson is a bond.
Okay, thank you.
And we have Miss Lewis. Can we skip to Miss Martinez because Lewis is on a medical?
Skip Miss Lewis?
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
come back to her another day. Martinez.
Your Honor, I missed that with Mr. Jackson. I missed Jackson. I wasn't sure what she said.
I think they said Jackson bonded, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
McCall Lillian Martinez.
Yes, ma'am.
Your case is 22 CF 1689. Charges you 1 count, possession of fentanyl. I do find probable cause. Your bond is going to be stayed at $1,000. You have another case, which is 22 CT 845. That is no valid driver's license. Your bond is going to be stayed at $500. Please do not drive without a valid DL, okay? All right, thank you. George.
Your Honor, we have Ms. Lewis here.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Colleen Fiona Lewis. All right, ma'am, you have two cases. The first one is 22 CF 1685. It's possession. You have 3 counts. Possession of methamphetamine. I do find probable cause. Your bond is stayed at $1,000. Possession of prescription drug without script. I do find probable cause. Your bond's gonna be stayed at $100. And the third count's possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause. Your bond's gonna be stayed at $100. Your second case is 22 CF 1686. It's driving while your license is suspended or revoked. It's as a third subsequent offender. So that is a felony. And I do find probable cause, and your bond's going to be stayed at $2,500. Please do not drive. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Not right now. Can she reduce the, because I didn't even know my license. But if you look back at it, it's been 20 years ago.
I apologize, Your Honor. I should have said something sooner. Miss Lewis has informed me she's financially not able to afford the aggregate amounts of the bond. She's asking for a reduction. So based on that, I'd be asking the court to reduce the 2,500 to 1,000. That would put bond a little more attainable to her.
We have no objection. It looks like the prior convictions are rather old, so the state has no objection.
Expired tag. I haven't 20 years on like my insurance has been good, and my prescription, those are my medication that has been expelled.
All right, your felony driving license suspended. I'll go ahead and reduce that to $1,000.
Thank you.
Yeah, what about this?
Yeah. Yeah, but I won't be moving forward.
Okay.
You'll be assigned.
That'll be better. All right, thank you, Your
Mm-hmm. Where are you, George Max? Is it Matarazzi?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. I have a case for you, 22 CF 1697. It's for possession of methamphetamine. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause for your arrest. Your bond's gonna be stayed at $1,000 at this time, okay? I don't believe I have anything else in front of me for you. Thank you.
Your Honor?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on 1 second. I apologize, Your Honor. May I ask Mr. PTR a question about qualification here? Is that okay?
That's fine.
I see, that Mr. McCall.
Matarazzi.
That's why I was confused. Does he qualify at all? Is there a way to?
No,
address that?
yeah, because his community ties couldn't be verified.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Sorry about that. I was staring at the wrong paper.
Your Honor, we have Mr. McCall as mental health.
Mental health?
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna have to reset, or is he being screened, or what's going on?
He is in an area where he needs maybe a day or two to fizzle out.
All right, it's a grand theft. He's entitled to a bond. Ms. Taylor, are you willing to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so for case 22 CF 1677, it's grand theft, 3rd degree. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and reduce the bond to $1,500. He is not to return to the super target located at 4750 Millennia Plaza Way.
Thank you.
Kurt Andrew Mooney?
No, Your Honor. He's Ortiz.
He bonded.
Okay, Luis Ortiz, 22 CF 1690. You have two separate counts. The first one's possession of fentanyl. Second count's possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause for each of these offenses. Your bond as to count one is going to be stayed at $1,000, and your bond as to count two, I'm gonna go ahead and reduce that to $250. All right? All right, and I'm looking for is it Ladies Peralta?
He is mental health, Your Honor.
Mental health. Ms. Taylor, you willing to waive his appearance?
I don't think so. I'm just a little concerned with the domestic component. I want him to hear you say
Okay.
no contact.
While we're on the subject of his case, I know he's not present, but technically, you're his counsel. I've appointed you. I have an issue with the aggravated stalking state. It's aggravated stalking after injunction, and typically there needs to be a period of time. I literally read this affidavit 3 times. I don't see the period of time. While reading it, it kind of alleges to a period of time from, I think, September, oh, hold on, I don't want to mix my facts up, from January to present, but it doesn't really state that.
Okay.
So if you can work on that, I would greatly appreciate it. So we'll reset.
Will it be reset for tomorrow, Your Honor?
Or whenever he's released, I don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
Andrew Joseph, is it Ramden or?
Ramden.
Ramden, okay. Your case is 22 CF 1655, has 2 separate counts, burglary of a dwelling and petty theft. I do find probable cause for each of these offenses. As to burglary of a dwelling, your bond is stayed at $5,000, and as to petty theft, your bond is stayed at $250. You are not to return to 2182 Cascade Cove Drive. You're not to have any contact with the alleged victim, okay? So right now you have to maintain a separate residence. I know the alleged victim is your sister, so I don't know if, I'm sorry?
So yes, ma'am. I'm listening.
You can go somewhere else besides that location?
Yeah.
Because I'm ordering a no contact, and you can't go back there right now, so,
Okay.
okay, you do understand that?
Yes.
All right, very good.
Your Honor, we have Rydell bonded.
Okay, thank you.
We have Santiago bonded.
Thank you.
We have Vargas refused.
Okay, it is a possession of cocaine, Ms. Taylor.
I would waive, Your Honor.
In reference to case 22 CF 1691, with that waiver, the court has reviewed the possession of cocaine. I do find probable cause, bond is stayed at $1,000. Let's see. And as to 22 MO 175, which is possession and consumption of alcohol prohibited in public, I'll do a direct PTR on this one. Mark Anthony Walker. Right, so you have two cases. The first one is 22 CF 1712, has two offenses: obscene communication, travel to meet after use, using a computer to lure. I do find probable cause. As to count one, your bond's gonna be set at $5,000. As to count two, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, your bond's gonna be set at $1,000, okay? As to the second case, 22 CF 1699, has four separate offenses. The first one is possession of cannabis, more than 20 grams. Your bond is, I do find probable cause, your bond's going to be stayed at $1,000. Your second count's possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver. I do find probable cause, your bond's gonna be set at $500. Count three's possession of the tetrahydrocannabinol. I do find probable cause, your bond is going to be set at $500. Count four is the possession of drug paraphernalia. I do find probable cause, your bond's gonna be set at $100. Dwight Lamar Williams Jr.
Yes, ma'am.
Your case number is 22 CF 1290, has one count of criminal mischief. I do find probable cause for this offense. Your bond is set at $1,000 at this time. You are not to have any contact with the alleged victim, and you are not to return to the scene of the offense. In reference to 2021 CF 7567, you're out on bond when you picked up this new case, so I have to revoke your bond and set you at 0 at this time, okay?
Excuse
Please
me.
don't say anything about your case. Talk to your defense attorney.
Please, ma'am. Please, ma'am. My daughter in GCF, man. I don't know about the criminal mischief, man. I've been doing good, man. I got a job and all. Please, man. I ain't about it. No offense. I don't even know about this criminal mischief, man. Please, man. You ain't got to rope my bond. I ain't redo it. I ain't do no, ain't no duplicate, no new charges on, man. Please.
Your Honor, would the court consider setting a bond that was double the original amount on that out on bond case?
It's a possession of firearm by a convicted felon, so, and then there's another count, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, so the court's not inclined to do that. What Mr. Williams can do is file a bond motion, and that can be heard in front of the trial judge, okay?
But, ma'am, I had that charge, and I had that called another charge, and they still had let me bond it out on it, ma'am.
And I do understand that, but I am not the trial judge. Make sure you reach out to your defense attorney, okay, as soon as possible.
Ma'am, please, ma'am, you can not revoke the bond because I got to get my daughter, I got to start my class for a DCF, ma'am. Ma'am, my son is only 4 years old, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
And I do understand that, but I have to do my job, sir. Okay? Reach out to your defense attorney. Thank you.
Hey, but I don't even know where this criminal mischief even must came from, where it started from. I don't even know the area or none of that.
Mr. Williams, listen to me. I really need you to talk to your lawyer, okay?
I don't even have no lawyer on it. Nobody in I didn't even know I had a
I
warrant
provisionally
on it.
appointed the Office of the Public Defender's Office to you, so reach out to them, okay? Thank you.
Just to verify, what was the bond on the possession of cocaine?
You said it was a criminal mischief.
Judge, was it just the criminal mischief? Because my paper says the possession of cocaine too. Was he?
I don't remember seeing possession of cocaine. It was criminal mischief.
Okay.
And according to PTR, he was out on bond on the possession of firearm by a convicted felon, possession of firearm or ammunition by a convicted felon, the 21 CF 7567. I don't know anything about a possession of cocaine.
So I
Because
just
I'm
looked-
showing in the IMS is that there's 2 charges. One, the PC, and one was a warrant. For case number 2022 CF 001-66980.
We don't have, I wasn't given that information. All I had was the warrant for the criminal mischief, and a bond was already set for that one, and what I have. So if you all give me his other case, I can take care of it, but until then, I can't really touch that because we don't have it. All right?
But the issue I just realized on the criminal mischief,
Mm-hmm.
the offense date, it was July of 2021. It was a direct file from the state.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking back at the felon in possession. Actually, it doesn't matter because that was from June. So it's close, but he was technically still out on bond, so never mind.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
I'm printing out the paperwork for you, Judge.
All right. Who do we have next?
Jose Alicea?
All right, Mr. Alisay, you were arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol. And I do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $500. This is going to be bonds with PTR, so please do not consume any alcohol while you are out on bond on this case, okay? And do not drive unless you have a valid driver's license. Understood?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, Judge. That was for Seville. What was his bonds again?
For the DUI, it's $500 for Mr. Allison. Our next case, we have, I don't know if that's a misspell, but is it Kelly? No? What's your first and last name?
Asia, sir?
Okay, nope, that is not who I have.
Mareki is bonded.
Asia, is it Servel? You have 3 separate traffic offenses or criminal traffic cases. See, the first one is 22 CT 841. It's a violation of non-resident requirement. And your other case, can't read that. You have a attaching tag to an unassigned vehicle. It's Staples. I'm trying to see what case that is. 840, and then the 22 CT 839 must be the no motor vehicle registration. Right, I do find probable cause for each of these cases. Is there an objection to straight PTR?
No, Your Honor.
It's gonna be pretrial release. Make sure that you do not drive unless you have the correct things on your vehicle and you have a valid driver's license as well. Okay?
When you go to
Your Honor, we have Tavara Morin as bonded, Branch bonded, Dimitri Marine as behavior,
Ms. Taylor, do you wish to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
In reference to 22 MM936, assault on law enforcement, court does find probable cause, bond is stayed at $1,000. In reference to 22 CF889, looks like he was out on bond for possession of cocaine, tampering with physical evidence, and resisting officer without violence. So the court's going to go ahead and revoke the bond and set it at 0. We have a Jonathan Fernandez. Right, Mr. Fernandez? Mr. Fernandez?
Hello.
Hi. Your case is 22 MM948. You're charged with possession of grocery cart or dairy case. I do find probable cause. Any objection to straight PTR?
No, Your Honor.
All right. PTR it is. Stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue, yeah.
You're all set.
Is it Wanza?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thomas?
Yes, ma'am.
Your case is 22 MM949. It is possession of grocery cart or dairy case. I do find probable cause for this offense. Any objections to straight PTR state?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Retry release it is.
You're all set.
Daryl Baker?
Yes, ma'am.
Case 2023-01277. I have a violation of probation. It's out of county. Looks like it's Volusia County, and they've issued a 0 bond. So Volusia should be coming to get you soon, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Ivan, do we have an Ivan Bellamy?
He bonded.
Oh, yeah, he did have a bond, okay. Sharon, is it Dighton? All right, you have 2 cases. They're both out-of-county warrants. Looks like out of Brevard County. The first one is 2019 CF 18371, and that bond is 0 at this time because it's a VOP. It's a violation of probation. And then the second case is 2019 CF 1837. Wait, why did it say it's the same one? Okay, so it's the same case, but one is a violation of probation, the other one is a failure to appear. So it's still 0, okay? So they should be coming to pick you up soon. All right, thank you. Do we have a Barry Howard?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mac Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Your case is 22 CF 15222. Looks like it is an out-of-county warrant from Brevard County. You do have bonds on each of these cases. The first count, I'm sorry, not cases, but count. The first count is $3,000. The second count is $3,000, and the third count is $3,000, okay? All right, thank you. Nathan Matthew?
No.
Your case is 20, nope, that is that the correct case of 2023-09-564? Okay. All right, it is an out-of-county warrant. Looks like a domestic violence battery, and is out of Volusia County. And there's currently no bond set for you at this time, so it's 0 right now. All right, so Volusia should be coming to pick you up soon. Hernan Badencourt?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your case is 2014 CF 12576. It's a violation of probation. And currently your bond is set at 0 at this time, okay? So reach out to your defense attorney so they can potentially file a motion to set bond for you, okay?
Judge, be advised, he's a high-risk sex offender.
Thank
Where's your case number? Yeah.
Okay.
It might be me, I don't know what division it's in. Yep, so they'll reach out to you. You're all set. Oh, I'm sorry.
Michael Dozier?
Yeah, ma'am.
Case 2020 CF 11167, it's violation of probation for fleeing and attempting to elude. Bond is currently set at 0 at this time, okay?
Ma'am, when do I have a court date?
I'm sorry?
When is my court date, next court date?
Court date, we can find out for you, but I'm not quite sure.
Because I have a paid attorney and I would like to get in contact with him to let him know to try to be at the court date so I can try to get me a bond.
You should be able to contact him from the jail. The 17th of this month? Okay, February 17th is your next date.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yes. Provisionally appointed, but he says he has private counsel, so they can work that out. Wendell Harp? Do you have a violation of probation case 2019 CF 6434? Your bond is currently set at 0 at this time. All right, thank you. You can contact your public defender and they'll be able to give you a court date soon. Rico Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson, you have 2 cases. The 19 CF 6018, it's a violation of probation, and that judge has set the bond at 0. And you have another case, new law, 22 CF 1682. Has 5 separate counts. The first one's possession of methamphetamine. I do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $1,000. Resisting an officer with violence, your bond is, stayed at $1,000. Resisting officer without violence is stayed at $500. Attempted battery on law enforcement officer. Your bond is, I do find probable cause, your bond is stayed at $500. And as to count 5, fraud impersonating with the intent to possess few or more identification cards. I do find probable cause. Your bond's going to be stayed at $500 at this time. All right, thank you. Is it Shamar Leach?
Yes, ma'am.
Your case is 2020 CF 7460. It's a violation of probation. Looks like battery, domestic violence. Your bond is currently set at 0 at this time. All right, thank you. Stephen, is it McCarter?
Yes, ma'am.
Your case is 22 MO 173. Possession of alcohols, open container. I do find probable cause. State, do you have any objections to straight PTR?
No, Your Honor.
All right. PTR.
Any release conditions?
No.
Okay.
Judge, I don't know if this is possible. We very much appreciate the PTR, but he would kind of like to resolve the case. The state's made an offer of withholding court costs.
Y'all have him review the plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did he sign a plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Really?
Yeah,
All right, let me see it.
can I approach?
You may. All right, go ahead and raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, go ahead and put your hand down. State your first and last name for me.
Stephen McCarter,
Date of birth.
8/28/86.
All right, I am holding a plea form in my hand. Do you recognize this plea form?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
All right, did you go through this form with your attorney?
Yeah,
Do you have any questions about what you've read?
no,
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol that may impair your ability to enter into this plea today?
no, ma'am.
Is there anyone forcing you to take this plea?
No, ma'am.
Now, paragraph 3 on this form sets forth some constitutional rights, such as the right to a speedy trial and the right to a jury trial. By accepting the state's offer, you're telling me that you wish to waive those rights. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering into this plea, it will be grounds for deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
I have read the charging affidavit. As previously stated, the court did find probable cause. There is a sufficient factual basis to proceed with your plea. How do you wish to plead to this offense?
No contest?
I will accept your plea of no contest. I will withhold adjudication, give you credit time served and court costs.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And how much time do you need to pay for the court costs?
Don't matter.
I can give you 180 days to pay.
Okay.
All right. You have 30 days to appeal your sentence. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, we have Velez as bond.
Okay. I don't have anything else in front of me, so it looks like court's adjourned. Thank you all for your time.
Yes, Your Honor.